That sounds a bit like a movie, which fits because Michael Santos' story begins with the movie Scarface. As a young Cuban-American in the 1980s, Santos aspired to be like Tony Montana, the movie's drug-dealing main character.
It was just the beginning of an amazing story of crime, punishment, and redemption. Here's NBC Bay Area's Garvin Thomas.
Janelle, Michael Santos, who'd grown up outside of Seattle, actually moved as a 20-year-old to Miami to live that dream, and within 2 years, he was a drug kingpin. At least that's what federal prosecutors called him when he was arrested. A conviction followed. But before sentencing, Santos says he vowed to do his time and change his ways. Boy, did he ever. Michael's journey from Scarface to San Francisco State is tonight's Bay Area Proud.
Did everybody check your email today? I sent you 10 questions.
If any of Michael Santos' San Francisco State students began this school year asking their teacher how he spent his summer, the answer might have surprised them.
Today, we're going to talk about the federal prison system.
Michael was in federal custody.
I just want to share my experience with you.
Then again, prison is where Michael Santos has spent the last 26 summers of his life.
26 years, 9,500 days. 9,500 days from entrance to release.
It was in 1987 that Michael was convicted in federal court of being a drug kingpin, of shipping kilos of cocaine from Miami to his hometown of Seattle.
I made every bad decision you could make.
But before Michael was even sentenced, before he spent a single of those 9,500 nights in prison, Michael made one very good decision. He picked up a philosophy book and learned about Socrates.
Particularly when Socrates had an opportunity to escape. And Socrates said, no, I'm not going to do that. I live in a democracy, and in a democracy I have the right to change the laws that I don't believe in, but I don't have a right to break the laws. That is what totally transformed my life.
Michael vowed then and there to do his time, educate himself, and become a contributing member to society. What followed was an undergraduate degree from Mercer University, a master's degree from Hofstra University. Michael was even on his way to a PhD until his warden shut that down.
The warden said that this is a threat to our security. We're not a university. This is a prison.
Still, Michael says that just enabled him to focus on writing, aided at that point by his wife, Carol. They met while Michael was behind bars and have been married for 10 years now. While in prison, Michael published more than half a dozen books about his experience and prison life in general. Professors around the country began adding his works to their courses. But it was one school, though, that decided to add Michael himself.
And I said, really? It was an amazing moment for me to think that this university was going to hire me.
The transition, though, was not without its bumps.
The biggest surprise was learning how to drive. I didn't know that I'd forgotten how to drive. I didn't know when I forgot how to drive. I didn't know that I didn't know how to drive, but as soon as I got behind the wheel, I realized I don't know how to drive.
But if you are the bright minds that this institution cultivates...
Michael, true to form, has conquered that by now. Now traveling the country, spreading the word about what he sees as the biggest evil in our country.
Mass incarceration. Everybody here knows somebody who's been incarcerated.
And how society and prisoners can overcome it.
I believe anybody can do it. Anybody can become more than the bad decisions of their past.
Stand up! Be heard!
With that in mind, Michael has developed a program, I think he calls it the Straight A Guide, to help transition prisoners from when they get released into society so they don't end up going back into prison. One of my favorite parts about this story, he wrote the books. He made money while in prison and paid taxes, he'll tell you. He came out of prison with $100,000.
Wow.
Bought a house. Came out of prison, bought a house that he and Carol now live in Petaluma. Just a remarkable story. If I had $10 right now, I would bet you guys within 5 years there is going to be a movie, a major movie.
I'll go see it. It sounds interesting.
With this guy as the main character, his story is that remarkable.
Motivated, hard worker, a strong message. Thanks so much.